Okay, well, Greg gave you a great understanding of what we're trying to do in weight management. And I thought I would put the scientific spin to the whole deal just to make sure that you understand where we're coming from. Because I think this is one of the most exciting product development projects that all the scientists have been involved with. And I think we've reached a point, we did cross the Rubicon on this one. And essentially, I think we have produced something that surprised even us in science, because the first open label clinical study that we did showed us results that we have not seen before. So let me take you through this. And fundamentally, if we talk about weight management system, and Greg has alluded, in fact, more than alluded to the reality that in most diet systems, when you go through that program, although you get on a weight, on a scale, and you see that you've lost weight, but what you have actually lost is not just fat, but you lost muscle too. So for our intents and purposes, what we're trying to do with TR90 is to change that equation, that what you are going to lose and what you are going to really not get back would be the fat. But we want to make sure that none of that weight is associated with muscle loss. So that's really the key with TR90. And again, I think there's a deliberate attempt on our part to make sure that we don't consider this to be just a weight loss program. It's really a body composition and weight management system. And it's not just about a single product. It's really the aggregation and the end result of the whole system that's producing this wonderful health benefit from the TR90 when you start using the TR90 system. So we're changing the equation, and fundamentally it's not just our word, that most of the diets that you've been using, or some of you may have tried, that they actually involve and have been associated with muscle loss. Many scientific studies have been conducted with such diets, and they've shown time and time again that when you lose the weight, when you step on the scale and you see weight loss, what you are seeing, close to 40% of that weight loss is associated with muscle. So that's really not a good thing, because when you lose the muscle, ultimately that explains why you experience what Greg has been telling you, that yo-yo phenomenon that happens. Invariably, right, when you get off a diet, what do you see at 12 months from now? There is a regain, or there's a gaining back of your weight. And these studies have shown it. And I also want you to make sure that when you look at the types of studies that have been conducted scientifically, another interesting point that have been lost in weight management is the fact that protein plays an absolute key role in weight management. That's the only way you can actually build muscle is through protein intake. Nothing else builds muscle. Carbohydrates, they don't build muscle. Fat clearly doesn't build muscle. It's only proteins. And again, it's something we're focused on in R&D to make sure that within this TR90 system, we have a protein shake, or to make sure that the system contains enough protein. And not just a matter of the amount of protein, it's how and when you take that protein that is also pretty key in making sure that you're a healthy weight loss or a weight management system. So, ageLOC TR90 is all about body composition then, and making sure that you maintain muscle. We, as I've mentioned time and time again, as you leave here today, remember, it's not just about losing weight, it's about losing fat. That's the only type of tissue in your body you want to lose. What does that all translate to then? There are really just three simple end results, if you will, that we wish to get from TR90. The first thing that we want to make sure is that your basal metabolic rate, in other words, your metabolism increases with the use of TR90 system. We believe we have found a way, and we have developed one of the supplements to be able to improve your metabolic rate. Because when you have a higher basal metabolic rate, in other words, the resting rate, clearly I think you can appreciate that it will burn more calories. So that's an important key step in healthy weight management systems. The second one I've talked about is obviously preserving, at the very minimum, the lean muscle that you have. because any loss in muscle translates to a decrease actually in the basal metabolic rate as well. So that's an important second component of the TR90 system. And then finally, the third one, and this is where another organ kicks in when you want to talk about healthy weight management system, and that's your brain. Because we now know from many studies now by other scientists and studies that have been conducted in terms of how people can preserve a healthy weight, is that if you don't somehow teach your brain that you are full and you are satisfied with what you have eaten, invariably that will lead to you eating more. So for all intents and purposes, when you think about it along those lines, then you would conceptually arrive at a point where you would conclude that the brain is absolutely important. If we don't have an ability or have some component of the TR90 system helping you to control your appetite and helping you to have a sense of satiety, I don't think we will be able to achieve the results that we hope in TR90. So those are the three things. It's pretty exciting, the TR90 system, because it's such a breakthrough for the scientists to be able to use our ageLOC science, couple that with clinical studies, and be able to choose natural ingredients that can go and